Get up in the morning, do some work on your Amazon business before your job starts. Go to your job, do your job all day long, come back, have something to eat, put your kids to bed, do some more work on your Amazon business, wash, rinse, repeat. It's no secret that some folks are going to get burnt out with that kind of schedule. So in this video, I want to show you how, as your Amazon business gets up and running and as you go through the journey of Amazon entrepreneurship, you can avoid burnout, which inevitably leads to some people giving up. In this video, I'm going to show you how to avoid burnout on your entrepreneurial journey. Now, if you like this kind of content where we're talking about ways to help you make more money online, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, give it a little thumbs up. And if you've got something you want me to talk about, be sure to comment below and I'll get that covered for you. Okay, so let's get into avoiding entrepreneurial burnout. This is an interesting one, and I think I've got two interesting takes on it, okay? I've got two interesting takes on it. So, as an entrepreneur, for me, not just in entrepreneurship, but also in most things in life, burnout comes from having to do things that really you don't want to do. And it's almost like that dread of having to go and do those things, and over a period of time that turns into burnout and it stops you wanting to do the whole thing, makes you think about going and do something else. So, and again, I'd be super interested to hear your opinions on that and what you think burnout is. For me though, in my life, I think it's this sense of dread about having to do things that you really don't want to do, but you've got to go do them, okay? And I think that's where burnout comes from, versus getting to do the things that you love to do all the time. I believe it would be very difficult to become burnt out if you spent your days doing things that you love to do. I'd imagine that would be very inspiring for most people. So I've got a couple of different things for you here. I've got one very, very practical thing to get you started with, okay? And then I've got another thing that I have personally put in place that I really, really enjoy doing, and has been extremely great fun for me as well. So let's talk about those two different things. Firstly, here's a simple thing. So when you come into the AOE community, you'll come in and you'll arrive at this particular page. First thing you should do is where it says start here, just there. You should click on that and start there. When you do, you're going to get presented with this video right here, which is the Ducks in a Row video. Kate Ingham did this. Kate is a powerhouse of a woman. She did this particular video all about getting things in place ready for growth in your business. Super important. Anyway, underneath that particular video is that link just there. Follow this link to get lots of cool stuff for your Amazon business. Be sure to bookmark this page. So if we click on that link, it takes us here. I will, to avoid your necessity of clicking, give you this link right now. So you've got it. Send to all. There you go. And then the one you want to go click on is this one. How to avoid entrepreneurial burnout. Okay? How to avoid entrepreneurial burnout. Boink. And it's pretty simple. What I've done is I put the instructions here for you. So here's what I use, and I found this to be incredibly useful. And particularly as I grow my business and my day-to-day activities have changed, because my business has grown and it's no longer smart for me to do certain things in my business, this has been particularly useful, not just for burnout, but also to see what I should be outsourcing as well, because really that's what this is all about. So here's what I use, and use it heaps. I've got, and you could just put this, if you want to just get this yourself and download it, so you download it by going to File, Download, and then just download it as an Excel sheet, for instance. That will get you there. Or you can just make a copy of it, and that will make a copy into your own Google Drive. And of course, Google Docs now are free You're no longer going to need to pay for any of those, which is super cool. So anyway, so as you can see, I've divided it up. Here I've got things that I am, or you are, great at, and you also really like doing them. Okay, so things that you actually are super good at and you actually love doing them as well. And these, of course, are the things that you're going to focus on doing in your day-to-day business, and they absolutely will change over time, but it's a great exercise to go through. Next up, things that you're good at doing and you don't really mind doing them. You kind of just almost like you're nonplussed about doing them. Okay, so you are good at doing them and you don't really mind doing them either. Okay, then you've got things that you're okay at doing, but really you don't really like doing them within your business. So within my business, as I've built it and grown it and scaled it and taken on more people into it, this is the one that continues to grow for me, and it's also the one that has been the most important to avoid burnout, because what I found is if I don't get them off of here, they quickly go to here, which is I'm not very good at them and I actually don't like doing them either. So what I found is the things that I'm okay at but not a fan of doing, I don't focus my awareness on them, don't focus my skills on them, and so over time I don't keep up to date with them, so I lose the ability to be up to date with them because I just don't care about them so much. As a result of that, I go into the not good at doing them. As soon as I'm into that, then I kind of just also recognize that I hate doing them. Okay, so this has been super important. I found it very useful for me, and this is a great thing to do at the start of your e-commerce journey especially, but as you're on growing and growing, then it's really good to know what to outsource. So this is my avoiding entrepreneurial burnout. Okay, super cool. Second thing that I've really quite recently, within the last 3 years, done a lot more of, and that is I've got side projects. So I set up a second Amazon business, which was my experimental business. So I watched a really interesting discussion with Marco Pierre White, who is a very talented chef, talking about him getting 3 Michelin stars and why he ultimately gave those 3 Michelin stars away. Very interesting interview, but long and short was, he recognized in himself when he got 3 Michelin stars, which is the pinnacle of food, his cooking became defensive. So it went from being creative to being defensive. And that, for a creative guy like Marco, is anathema to what you actually want to do. Okay, so he wants to be creative and do that, but instead he found himself being defensive and just defending his 3 Michelin stars. Okay, so ultimately he gave the stars back and he got back to being creative. Very inspirational thing, particularly as a cook, to do that. So I took from that in my own business. I'd kind of done the same. So my own Amazon business is mid 7-figure business a year, and it's what I feed my family with. It pays our expenses, it feeds our family, and so I noticed that I'd got quite defensive about that business as well. Like, instead of being creative in it and going for different things and trying new things out, I'd got to a point where I was like, but I don't want to fuck that business up. I want it to carry on making money, paying my kids' school fees, all that cool shit, yeah? And so I got defenses with it. And so what I did was I started a second Amazon account, which is my experimental account. It's a place where I get to unleash my own form of creativity. And what I've done in that particular business is I take products right from being just ideas, and I take them through all elements of the production and the design, and I do CAD drawings for them, and it just allows me to be that bit more creative within them. Okay, and I don't do that within my other business. I get professionals to go and do it, but in this business I get to play and do the things that I love to do. So comes back to this, okay? I'm great at it and I love doing it, but it didn't actually make sense for me to do it because it's better for me to focus on bigger picture things. I found that really, really fulfilling. So I want to encourage you, if you're at the phase where you are starting to think defensively about your business, to set up a second account and unleash that creativity again and go ahead and do that. Now, if you're just at the beginning of your journey, you don't think defensively because there's nothing to defend. So you are creative. Yeah, you are creative. I noticed, for instance, this is just an aside, in the inner circle, around that time when I started to think defensively about my business, the inner circle topics that I was teaching became very defensive as well. And you know, that wasn't appropriate for where most people were or are in my inner circle. So it was another good reason to do that. And now my inner circle is focused on all the creative core shit that we do, rather than defending previously hard-won business. Anyway, yeah, I think that's been really, really good for me. It is not as profitable as my main business because I don't give a flying kahuna about the profitability of it. It's like a play business for me, you know what I mean? Like I go and try loads of different ideas, see what works. Some of it does, some of it doesn't. That's cool. But I found that to be really, really useful. So yeah, I hope that one of those helps you if you're at that particular phase of your journey. And I'd love to get your feedback on that too. James, I thought you could only have one Amazon business. No, that's not true at all. You can have as many Amazon businesses as you like, whether that is legally by following Amazon's terms of service. Amazon, if you can provide a good reason, will let you open a secondary Amazon account. No problems at all. But if you want more than one Amazon business, and there's a lot of good reasons to have more than one Amazon business, then it's super easy to have multiple Amazon businesses. Super easy to have multiple Amazon businesses. Amazon, an Amazon account is linked to two things: a person or entity and a email or mobile. That's the things it links to, okay? It's two things. So person or entity, well, if you set up a Pty Ltd company, that's an entity. And if you have an email address to that Pty Ltd company, that's that. And if you have a mobile phone linked to that Pty Ltd company, that's that. How many Pty Ltd companies can you have? As many as you want. Super easy to get multiple Amazon businesses. Super, super easy. Hope that helps. So, yeah, some interesting different things that we talked about tonight. What do you guys reckon? Was that kind of a different way of thinking about things? Was that a cool way to think about the psychology of Amazon entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship in general? Do you like that kind of stuff? Or would you prefer to us to focus uniquely on tactics for Amazon? What would you prefer to focus on? I'm happy to do either. I think that I was probably feeling, because I've been thinking a lot about my own future and my own future entrepreneurship, I'm at a very fortunate position in my life where really I don't need to work to make money. So I've been in that situation before, and the last time I was in that situation, I lived in Monte Carlo, and then I sabotaged it because I love working. So I've learned from that I've got to carry on working, otherwise I give all my money away so that I can carry on working. But this time I'm going to do things differently. So I've been thinking about it a lot. That's probably why I've had some questions coming in around that as well. Who knows if you believe in that sort of stuff or not? I've got no idea, but that's my belief, and so yeah, it's kind of interesting. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We've got over 2,000 members right here in Australia. Actually, we let a few folks in from other parts of the world as well. See how benevolent we are. We've got over 2,000 members. We're the fastest growing e-commerce community right now in Australia with sales of over $50 million. If you'd like to find out more about the Aussie online entrepreneurs and how we can help you set yourself financially free, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.